Could you give us a little bit about the Winner's Journey program? And I know you were actually telling me a little bit about it's a new program. Tell me actually about the program, because I hadn't heard anything actually about a teen program. So this is something that actually needs to get out to the community of families that may not know, and some of their young ladies may need help, or so we're going to let you tell us a little bit about that program.
Sure. Well, the Winner's Journey Adolescent Program is a substance abuse program for adolescents ages 12 and up. We have the substance abuse program has been in place for many years, where it's just just your teens. We have a residential as well as outpatient. I'm here really, I guess, representing everything, but I work in the outpatient unit. And it's ages 12 to 17. We do substance abuse, education, counseling. We do life skills application. And we recently added a new program that is called Specialized Females. And that is for teens that are pregnant or they have children. So that's what, and it's a fairly new program. It's been in place now for about 3 months, going on 3 months.
Are they drug addicted at that age?
They are drug addicted at that age.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God. What are some of the drugs that they're having problems with now? Because I'm kind of old. Okay, well, I don't know what's going on out here with some of this. So, what are some of the
primary drugs that most of the teens are using now is alcohol, marijuana, and prescription drugs. Okay. They're using a lot of the other things as well, ecstasy and, PCP, what have you. But the three primary drugs is alcohol, marijuana, and prescription drugs. That's the three. For some reason, they just think that these drugs, that they're not harmful.
And that's what I was getting ready to ask you, because the first thing you'll hear them say, marijuana's not harmful, it doesn't do anything to you.
It grows from the
ground. But
ground.
what I'm hearing is that what they're making now has a lot of chemicals in it.
Right.
So, and that will make them progress to something more, so...
Right.
And
actually,
they're not understanding that, I don't think.
Right. Actually, statistics, would tell you, back in the day when you were smoking marijuana, today it is like 20 times more potent than when it was, say back in the 70s and that kind of thing. And it's primarily due, by the way that you're growing it, by the way that they're growing it. Not so much that they're putting extra chemicals on it. It's just that it's 20 times stronger than what it used to be back in the day. And then not to mention that also, sometimes they do put other chemicals on it, what they call, they take it and roll it up in a cigarette and dip it in PCP, they call it wet, and just all mix it with some cocaine. I mean, just different ways that they're doing it, and they're having some very detrimental consequences due to that.
Are the babies affected? Have you seen some of the babies
affected? Are affected, yes ma'am.
Wow.
Yes ma'am.
Wow.
And if it doesn't seem like they're affected at that time of birth, later on through the years, it shows up in their behavior.
Wow. So does some of the young ladies even have like psychological problems as well in this program?
Yes, sometimes they do.
Does it go, is it a combination, is what I'm saying? Is it a combination of psychological problems, home problems?
Yes.
How they started all of this? Why? Do you get all of that in a group session with them?
A lot of times they may come with a dual diagnosis, but most times they're on medication, if that be the case. But then as far as the background is concerned, sometimes they come from homes that have history of addiction. The mother is addicted, the father has been addicted. So there are a number of factors, and then they're in that environment. So there are a number of factors that a lot of times bring them to us. And a lot of times they're set by judges, POs. Sometimes they will volunteer, or the parent, or of that nature.
Okay.
But I'm here, to just let everybody know that we are here to help our teens, because it's a war.
Oh God, is it a war? Is it a war? Is it a war? It's a war, it's a war, it's a war, because their listening skills are so bad until and it's a choice.
Right.
It's the choices that they're making that they don't understand how harmful
Right.
and how they're affecting their lives in the long run.
In the long run.
And it's all about getting what are the statistics in them returning to the program once they've been, they've come through the program. How long is the program, first of all? What's the program length for them?
Well, the outpatient program is a 90-day.
Okay.
It's a 90-day program. And like I said, we do the substance abuse, education counseling, group sessions, individual sessions. We do family support sessions. And so it's the 90-day program
90-day
for that.
program, okay. Are they trained as far as job skills or finding what they're lacking and trying to get training for them in those areas as well?
Well, we don't do the job skills per se, but we do life skill application.
Life skill
Yes.
application. Okay. What about the inpatient program? Is that for the more severe?
Yes, the residential is for those individuals who they have the inability to stop and they need 24-hour care.
Okay.
It would not do them any good to come to outpatient and they're steady using like they are. So they go to residential, and that program is 60 days.
Okay.
And now once they complete that program, then they can come to the outpatient program. And they can do that for 90 days. And then there's a continuance of care that we do.
Are there any success stories that you can
We
that
do
you
have
give me?
some success stories. We
Uh-huh.
do have some, yes, ma'am.
Some success stories
Yes,
where
ma'am.
they've gone on and they've totally stopped. They've actually changed their lives. or
Gone
whatever.
on, stopped, gotten back in school,
Awesome.
enrolled in college. Yeah. There's
So
some.
if someone needed to contact you all, is there a certain intake time, or do they just call a number? What would they call? Is there a number they would call, or are there any guidelines on intaking them?
They could give us a call. They could call me, and I can give you my number.
You can just go ahead and give the number
Okay,
to the TV
that number
audience.
is 713-331-2511.
2511.
Yes.
Okay. And what is the intake process? Could you tell me what the intake process is? It based on income, or they just generally just take them in? How do they determine if they will accept, that particular teen, or does it matter?
Okay, well, this program is funded by the state. And so if they meet that criteria for the state, then it's a free program. As long as they meet that criteria.
Oh, okay. Because I know our pastor actually works with the teen court. Do y'all ever get any from the teen court downtown?
We do periodically.
Right. He
Yes.
actually works with the teen court, and a lot of those, and you're trying to prevent them from getting into the system.
Right.
So, if they can get treated before they get into the system, that will help. But a lot of times, I noticed he was actually telling us that the teen court tries to help them to get into a treatment facility in order to keep them out of the judiciary system.
Yes.
And we see a lot of that. A lot of that actually happening.
Right.
A lot of that actually happening. So, in reality, I just have to say we just have to pray for our young people and constantly. You say sometimes you just got to let them go, but it still doesn't stop us from talking.
Right.
Talking, and they say it takes a village to raise a kid.
Yes.
Whereas you're helping on your end with your profession, she's helping on her end from the church, and it just takes everybody to continue to kind of tell them, and try to guide them in the right direction. And I just want to say I'm thankful for having you here today. And this is a very interesting program. It enlightened me to know, okay, hey, this type program.
There's something else out there.
It's something else that's actually out there for our young people. There is just so much going on, and we're living in a society where it just seems like everybody wants to all the young people want to just get high. I say, what is it?
Yes.
Not knowing how to deal with certain situations or peer pressure. Peer pressure. And that's just it, peer pressure. If they could be pressured by us, but we're not their peers.
Right.
We're not their peers, but if they could just we could just get them to listen. But we know
Right.
within all, even when we were coming up, there were some that just wouldn't listen.
Right.
And a lot of times, experience is the best teacher. And sometimes they actually have to get in that before they can realize, hey, this is not something that I want to do.
Right.
And even in your counseling or in your group, I can just about tell, I'm almost sure that, hey, they come out and maybe say a lot of things as far as family issues, some of
They
that.
do, yes, they do. They talk about that, and and they talk about the peer pressure and all of that. They do.
And because some of them don't know how to handle peer pressure.
Right.
Yeah, it's a weakness. They don't have the strength to be a leader, so then they be a follower to be accepted. A lot of times they actually just want to be accepted by someone.
Right.
And you find someone that has low self-esteem, especially a girl,
Right.
that has low self-esteem, and it seems like they have no friends in the world, then they turn to someone that they feel is going to accept them.
Right.
So whatever the acceptance is in that group, then they find themselves actually doing what the group do it. Because these are my friends. These are people that actually they think care about them. In reality, they're not really caring about them. They just want someone to do what they're doing,
Right.
to be
You
a part
know,
of it.
We actually provide them with skills for that. For that, we teach them. We teach them coping skills, and because the whole idea is that you must change the way you think. Changing the way you
Exactly.
think changes your behavior.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes,
Exactly.
yes, and that is very
So
important.
you have to
Yes.
change the way
Change
you think.
the way you think.
You need some communication skills, and that's why we stress with the parents. We bring the parents, we educate the parents, so that they can know the signs to look for, If you see your child's behavior drastically changing, he's an A student and now he's making D's, something's wrong.
And want to be secretive and never
Yeah.
tell you what they're doing.
Yes.
Don't want you to
Something's
know who
wrong.
those friends are, and you can't find out anything, and they become seclusive,
Right.
away
right.
from the family, and those are things that you actually kind of have to notice. But as
Exactly.
parents, you really don't. You try not to see this. It's something that you don't want to see. But I want to thank you all for coming, and I want to thank the audience today. And I hope that someone somewhere out there has been reached, and that any of these for a home, for a home, or if you're having trouble with your teen girls, or they're pregnant and you notice that they are having some drug problem, or if you don't know that they're having a drug problem and you want them to be checked, call Miss Jones over there. They're there, and I know it's hard on the parents now too, but we're being taught as well. I'm being taught here today.
And Miss-
Um,
Can I just say
go ahead.
that also boys, boys and girls.
Boys
We
and
do
girls?
Boys and girls.
Oh,
so
okay,
we have a
okay.
special
We
program
have a special
for the
program for the
females.
female.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Well, boys and girls.
Yes, ma'am.
Boys, because we know, yeah. Okay. I thought it was just the girls program. So if you're having young men, and we know young men are challenging, so please contact Miss Jones at the Riverside Hospital, and could you give them your number again?
713-331-2511.
Okay, and we want to thank you again for joining us today on the Community Voice. And our focus is to give something back to the community, information back to the community, that someone in the community may be helped or may be able to be in contact with whatever group that we may have on the show that may help you with whatever your needs may be. Again, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
But that was really interesting.